Hello and welcome to the College Investor Audio Show. We're so glad you're hanging out with us today as we take a look at the Department of Education and how they are barring work study from voter registration. Pretty interesting topic we're going to tackle today in just a minute. But first, just want to remind you to check out our website. We have everything there, every article that we use for our podcast and a bunch of other information for you. It's all there at thecollegeinvestor.com. Also, follow us on social media. Just search the words The College Investor, and you're going to find us pretty much on whatever your favorite platform is. All right, let's get to this thing. So, the Department of Education has issued some new guidance and policy clarifying colleges should use federal work-study funds and how they should do it. The updated guidelines emphasize placing students in jobs that actually offer hands-on, career-relevant experience tied to their studies. And it also prohibits the use of FWS, Federal Work-Study, funds and wages for voter registration or election-related activities. The FWS program, created to provide part-time employments for students with financial need, has long given institutions discretion in shaping job opportunities. But as recently as 2024, the DOE allowed colleges to use FWS employment for voter registration drives and some other nonpartisan political activity. But the new Dear Colleague letter rescinds the previous directives and makes clear that federal officials expect schools to connect students with work that helps build skills and experience for the future. Ending past guidelines on political activities. Let's take a look at this. So the department rescinded prior guidance that allowed schools to use FWS wages for nonpartisan voter registration or related election activity. Officials stated that such work, even when it's nonpartisan, falls under political activity and is really not permissible. It is not a good permissible use of federal funds under existing regulations. So that means that students can no longer be paid through federal funds for staffing voter hotlines or assisting with voter registration drives or working as poll workers, all that kind of stuff. The department stressed that while civic engagement remains important, these activities cannot be funded through federal work study. Colleges must also ensure that students are not placed in FWS jobs that serve the interests of a political group or involve partisan activities. The letter reminds institutions that compliance is a condition of their participation in other Title IV federal student aid programs. Colleges are still required to engage in voter registration, though. Ironically, the Higher Education Act still requires colleges to distribute voter registration forms to students enrolled in degree or certificate programs. Institutions may request forms from their states well in advance of registration deadlines and make a good faith effort to distribute them. The new guidance clarifies that schools can continue meeting this obligation by providing paper forms on campus or by sending electronic messages that contain the forms or a link to state election websites. However, such electronic messages must be devoted solely to voter registration information. That's it. The department also encouraged schools to remind students about eligibility rules, including the prohibition against voting in more than one state, restrictions on non-citizen voting, and domicile requirements. Officials noted that institutions may exclude foreign students or other non-eligible voters when distributing registration forms, just to avoid inadvertently aiding ineligible individuals. All right, let's talk real quick, and then we'll be done for today. The implications for colleges and students as we talk about this stuff. So the guidance signals a return to stricter limits on how institutions use federal dollars. Probably a good thing, while highlighting the department's push to connect federal or financial aid programs with workforce preparation. Students employed under FWS would ideally see more positions in labs, community service organizations, or employers related to their majors, and fewer kind of generic campus jobs. However, changes like this cannot happen overnight. You know this, and the short-term implications may be less campus jobs are available for FWS. So that means less financial aid for students, at least at this point, until they get used to the new provisions. So for colleges, the challenge is going to be to expand partnerships with employers, actual employers, like do what you're supposed to be doing. connecting students to, real life, and academic departments that can provide career-linked roles while ensuring compliance with the voter registration mandate. This really isn't that hard. Schools that fail to follow the restrictions do risk losing access to federal aid dollars, making the letter a clear directive for administrators. Just do something that, what's kind of why I'm going to college, to learn my major and how to get a job in the field that I'm studying, right? Anywho, you got comments, questions, concerns about this article or anything else, check out The College Investor all over social media. Just search for us and you'll find us. We'd love to help you out too. We have links, PDF files, everything you can read on your own and research deeper into this topic at thecollegeinvestor.com. Thanks again for stopping by today. We'll talk to you again real soon.